What's going on, family? So today we're going to talk about something a little different. I know it's been a while since I made a video, but important thing that I think should be talked about is the concept of like right versus wrong. When it comes to building relationships with people and communicating, the way we resonate with one another kind of comes down to like who we are and what our beliefs are. And within those, that like set of beliefs is what we believe to be right versus wrong. So we wouldn't hang out with somebody who did what we define as wrong, because we would have a problem with them and the way that they carried themselves. So today I kind of want to talk about what actually is right and what's wrong. So you have things like, committing crimes. We all know that that's wrong and there's penalties for that, and you're taken away from somebody when you commit crimes. But what happens when there's something that's a little bit more like not as easily defined, like ethics? When you have some things that aren't even as complicated as ethics, because ethics can be something like how to carry yourself at the workplace or how you interact with another person that may offend them. But sometimes you can offend people without even trying, simply by attempting to communicate. So when you're interacting with other people, it's pretty important to kind of understand that everyone was raised a little different, and sometimes you kind of got to reflect on what they're saying and not respond immediately, especially if you're offended. It's not too good to respond if you are feeling a negative emotion. And oftentimes, it could just be the method of communication. This person may be someone who speaks very eloquently in person, but, does a horrible job at texting. They may be really good at talking through text, but really bad at, over the phone, because they don't have the person in front of them to, kind of feed off the energy and say the right things. So I say all this to say that sometimes when we're thinking somebody's doing something right or wrong, and we're taking an offensive route or offended route where our feelings are hurt, sometimes you gotta step back for a second and really think, like, do I know this person? How well do I know this person? Does this person normally talk in a way that offends me? Is this just the way this person talks? If it's just the way they talk, then maybe it's more so a lack of understanding. Because a lot of times when people don't get along, it's literally just because they haven't spent enough time talking to each other to learn each other. That the other person isn't necessarily trying to offend them or anything like that. A lot of the times that's just literally how they were raised and how they communicate. And sometimes it's just the way they prefer to communicate, because that's how they expect people to talk to them. So sometimes when it comes to right versus wrong, we really got to just kick back and just relax, because what you define as right isn't what somebody else defines as right. What you define as wrong isn't necessarily what everybody else defines as wrong. The reason why this is important is because you can lose a lot of friends throughout life, quite simply because of what you're holding on to is right and wrong. Because you're holding on to an expectation that a person should do something and they don't even know it. Like, you didn't communicate this expectation, but you held them to that expectation, and that's not really fair. So sometimes the other person's the problem or incorrect, and sometimes it's you. That's what I'm here for. Keep it real. So hopefully this helps somebody. Hope you all having a beautiful day. It's a pretty nice day today here. Peace.
feel good.